so ewo eye Accra Mall. Ndra me no mienu yeti bebre companies ni na ekasa bebre na minim se brofo na ye bebre obi twema obekasa de omo kemente hwe eno ntia na eja ye bo ne tofa ede amamo ebi obi tie echi a obi twema no no so wate ase na wehu de ekoso ewa ase eye daily graphic any grader na amwa kabo mu ede sa adwumedie abrayen se na betimi aboa me ne umienu nti ebia wo ho ti baby sa companies ebia wa hwo mu commercials wa hwo mu videos so nti ase unya wo be hia omo na we bi so omo questions enso akwanya ni nni ho and then na ye de akwanya na abrow ye wo aha e wo Accra Mall Food Court ha say nti utwa mu sa wo temenka me sure say wo be twen abenyen de won ti ase bia de opesa wo ti ase question bia opesa obi se bia wo ba ha say ya companies no aye crado say omo ne wo ebe kasa uhunti udonti yadwe uhunti ana ye de sa adwumedie abremo ehun hia say bia obekọ mo office o hwehwe mo atira kwan da bi ye wa ha say esa hunti endra na ye wa ha say ene eye day to ochine be last day endra bia we nya akwanya no amfa ha say ya me sure say obefa ha say na unsu wenya sa nkrofu yi na oni omo achwetwe nkomo ye say opportunity comes but once e bia ene ana wenya omo ene na discount 20%, 25% no. Ebi enepe na ubenya sa discount no. So take this opportunity. Now ne sign crofui enkasa. Obi we bisa na companies ben ana ye wo mo wa ha se ye big companies bebre. E wa se na ansa mebo mu di no. Ye de aseda kese pa ebe ma MTN Ghana. Se omo kan ye ho e ma ye de sa adwumedie ebe so mo. Ye de aseda biom so ebe ma Access Bank. So mo boye chidom a mo supporting yen ama ye dis adwumedi e be bra mo kama na oba ha say ya obehu Lakeside Estate for ewa ha say omo say ye den na ope eye 2-bedroom ana ope eye 2-bedroom ana oba eye Lakeside a obenye bi kama na ebo ne de e da fam omo so ukra eye 8,900 and 7,000 a obenya eye 2-bedroom na eniji sem ne say obomema o discount e the account ane Lakeside for na ekasa no omo say obomema o discount e the akasa 2-bedroom no ho na ebiom no nso omo san so e wo eye payment plan ubetua ne kakran de hia ne say ebo no we tie 20% and I say 25% of amount no utua enu wie a wan kasa ubechusu eye payment plan na wa o sha wa ho odin betumi na no number ma eye 12 to 18 months now wait immediate you are with no interest I say okoji loan na say interest kan ho a akwai say na say bone cost kakra enso eye Lakeside Estate for say omo the interest bia enda so nti fa we ni tre eye Lakeside Estate nenya eye omo 2-bedroom house ni bi na onso ohun ento uba eye nyamedua apartment a omo wo eye beautiful apartment kama omo 2 and 3-bedroom apartment na sa apartment no benya ye 24-hour security a ohun entro Star Properties for so ewa ha say omo special packages e de mayen ye hunti ana omo aba ha say omo say ha ho en hwehwe omo say bia hwehwe omo office omo we he e bia na mi nya ho ochina mi nya ho aden ye say omo wa ha say Star Properties for so hwehwe omo a oba eye Accra Mall Food Court for her obi a obehia ni bia ka say me hwehwe Star Properties for her omo nice and special package affordable ones e de emau Access Bank for so e wa ha say ye hwe video na ye tie nsem omo kan utimi hu say Access Bank for e wo nepa e wo nyamapa e de ma me ne umienu utwin be omo a utie omo packages na uhwe de be boa wa na nso ode ho akomu MTN for ye be kosoa ada omo ase Prabon Greenfield for so ewa ha all the way from Kumasi omo fri Kumasi ton into obi on jon ho obi on pewasem anko the offer yi ebe fri Kumasi ton e de aba ase ana we de Kumasi de ni bia ana omo de aba Accra ha say into Accra for ye nsomwe omo so obo omo ho a omo nice houses omo 3-bedroom houses omo 3-bedroom na sa 3-bedroom no ba ombe ma ye 20% discount of amount no na wetua utua 20% ni wie no enye se no anu no ombe sa ma wakwanya no wetimi so move in into uti dan no medan na untua wie ye no uti mu no na utua ne kakran menua umpewe na opeden Glyco Group for so e wa ha say almost when ya assassin a no, when ya a dine a no, when ya apartment in a no, I was all chimbomo, now when ya insurance, na dachi be to a dine out timono, assassino, if you're chinebi, or who ba sema, never won't say, me call glyco group for wha, a idea mobile buame, me call glyco group for wha, a idea mobile soma snake. Na yako a state housing company for almost penny or more affordable apartment 1, 2 and 3 bedroom ewa adenta almost also a 3 bedroom on so omo ukonot kanesia obenya a almost 2 and 3 bedroom nen so ewa honomo modest developers for so omo a 3 bedroom ewa East Airport uko East Airport ubenya almost 3 bedroom no ewa honomo ACP for so ewa ha say African concrete product ebi awu si wo dan na ope concrete papa e de si wo dan a wo de weni ekire African concrete product ACP for ade a bejo so kama Rockstars roofing almost say there na ope plaster board ana ope POP ana ope roofing sheet emu aluminium any aloe zinc ana and therefore we need Rockstars roofing no mobema 20% discount affordable and quality Samsung phones so ahihye omonyama kama emu phones emu smartwatch dia ukoye Samsung for ho kama ebo ne eda famom se bra o de on to kra bra ne be fele na me guso kai will say you stream live wo Facebook daily graphic and graphic online inti se na ye kan no ye ne lands commission for ebe twetwe enkomo ene ye besua ade ye to nsase ye to apartment no na ye guso esua ade ye besua senia ye koto asase na nyama ye be hye steps ni process na dachi bi ye to asase na ye ho embasem inti meto ama me colleague Zurich na on the lands commission for so atwetwe enkomo mediane abena medamase.
Thank you very much, Abna. Once again, I would like to welcome viewers to the food court of the Accra Mall, where we are hosting the 2025 edition of the Graphic GREDA Home Fair. This fair has over 20 of the biggest and best companies in Ghana's real estate sector exhibiting here, and it is powered by MTN. MTN is here with MTN Fiber, the only 4G plus network in the whole of the country. And today we have a very important issue that we'll be discussing, and this is the issue of land ownership, which affects many and I think every Ghanaian. So we'll be looking at how to legally acquire land. So land ownership is a lifelong investment, but it comes with a lot of challenges, disputes, cases, fights, your building being pulled down. So joining me is a rep of the Lands Commission of Ghana. This is the institution that's mandated to ensure secure, transparent, and efficient land administration. We'll be discussing the right processes for acquiring land, how to avoid common pitfalls, and the new digital reforms designed to make the system more transparent and accessible. So, sir, can you introduce yourself and tell us the role you are playing with the Lands Commission of Ghana?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. My name is Edem Kojofeglo. I'm a lands officer with the Special Project Units of the Lands Commission. So I'm just here this afternoon to just give a brief education about land.
Okay, so Edem, how long have you been at the Lands Commission, and what specific, how is your day-to-day looking like at the Commission?
I've been to the Lands Commission for the past 4 years.
Okay.
Yes, and with my day-to-day work, it involves my unit is responsible for the digitization of the Lands Commission. So let's say the day-to-day administration, the softwares we use, the integration of the divisions amongst for the processing of applications. So we actually coordinate the divisions, yes.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome our audience, our digital audience network, live on Daily Graphic on Facebook, Graphic Online TV on YouTube. We are coming to you live from the food court of the Accra Mall. So now, Adam, I've seen that ad advertising a land in the Daily Graphic.
Yep.
What's my next step after seeing that advert? What's my next step?
So once you see an advert for a land, or let's say somebody introduces a land to you.
If you could speak up for...
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that once you see an advert for a piece of land, or let's say a friend or a colleague even talks about a land,
Yes.
the first thing you need to do is to visit the site.
Okay.
Get to see exactly where the land is. And then if you have a surveyor, you have to go with a surveyor to the site.
Okay.
What people usually do is that when they go to the site, they take a site plan that whoever is selling is giving to them.
Yes.
In most cases, it's not the right thing to do. The best thing is to go with your own surveyor. And then let whoever is selling the land to you show you the corners of the plot they intend to sell to you.
Don't you think this is a bit prohibitive because the surveyor will not just go empty-handed? You have to compensate even
Yes.
before paying for the land.
Due diligence is expensive, but then it
Okay.
saves you from a lot. Paying for due diligence compared to how much you're going to pay for the land, it's best you run your due diligence and then try and protect yourself from any unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, so I'm on the land with my surveyor. What's
Yes.
next?
So once the surveyor pick the site, the corners of the plot, the surveyor will then have to prepare a plan for you, what we call a certified plan.
Okay, is it the same as site plan or?
Yes, that's a site plan.
Okay.
We have two types of site plans. We have the certified site plan, and then we have the approved site plan, which we call barcoded site plans
Okay.
in Accra. So based on the site plan, you can use that to conduct an official search to know who actually owns the land, whether it's the person who is selling it to you or whoever he bought it from. Because for lands in Ghana, they fall under three main categories.
Okay.
It's either under a state land, under a stool land, or a family land, or it's a private land.
Okay.
So first, you need to run your checks to be sure that whoever is claiming to selling you the land is actually the person you are buying from.
Okay, so walk me through the verification, how to check if the
So-
land is free from disputes, how many years is the lease remaining for, how do I do that?
So once you get the site plan, the Lands Commission has an online portal.
Okay, mention the address.
The online portal is onlineservices.lc.gov.gh.
Okay.
So once you go onto the portal, you create your account. What you need to create an account is your a valid email address,
Okay.
a postal address, and then a telephone number.
You don't need Ghana card.
You need a Ghana card, but
Okay.
then it's not been made mandatory for now.
Okay.
We are still in talks with NIA to try and make it mandatory. So once you create your account and you log in, an OTP will be sent to the email you use to create the account. So please, you must make sure that the email address you are using is an official, your own email address that you
Yes.
use frequently. So once you create the account, with the site plan that the surveyor has prepared for you,
Okay.
you go onto the portal. There's a menu on the left. You see their services. So once you click on the services, it takes you to all the services that are on the portal. You can click on the search, and then you can go through. It's a very simple process.
Okay.
Once you see the steps, you can actually go through. You pay the official fees. That's through Momo or by a bank card.
How much is that?
An acre or less is 237 cedis 0.5.
Okay.
Every extra acre is 10 cedis.
Okay.
So once you input the land size, the system automatically
Generates the
generates the
payment.
bill you're supposed to pay. You pay via your Momo that you use to do the registration, and then it goes into the Lands Commission system.
Yes. So how long would the Lands Commission get back to me after it enters their system?
Once it enters the system, statutorily, it takes 14 working days,
That's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay.
14 working days, that's about 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
Every
about 3
week,
weeks.
every
Yes.
working day is,
5.
week is 5 years,
Yes.
so about 3 weeks to get your official response. There are instances where we face challenges here and there with our system, so there may be system downtimes, maybe the records information is not so available. We don't have a perfect system.
Okay.
So there are little challenges here and there. It might extend your turnaround time for you to get your search. So, but give and take, usually within 40 working days, you should get your official search.
Okay, so now I've been lucky enough after the search.
Yeah.
What would the Lands Commission tell me if everything is in order, and what would they tell me if it's not in order? How is the message like?
So I wish I had a copy of a search report here. But then in Greater Accra, specific
Yes.
to Greater Accra,
Yes.
we have 3 divisions that keep records. Okay, let me start this way. Lands Commission have 4 divisions.
Okay.
We have the Lands Valuation Division, Public and Investor Land Management Division,
Okay.
Land Registration Division, and then Survey and Mapping Division.
Okay.
But then out of these 4, there's only 3 that keep records on lands, let's say day-to-day administration of land. That is the Survey and Mapping, the Land Registration, and then the Public and Investor Land Management Division. So on a search report, what you see is the Lands Commission logo and then the name of the enquirer. let's say you are applying for the search.
Yes.
We see your name as the name of the
Kweku
enquirer.
Zurich there,
Kweku Zurich there with your
Enquirer.
postal address
Yes.
as an enquirer. Then on the same page, once you come down, first you see the divisions under their headings.
Yes.
So we've been able to summarize the abbreviated the divisions. So we have the LRD, we have SMD, and we have PVLMD. So under those divisions, they give information on whatever we have on that particular piece of land.
Okay. Okay.
But what happens is that there are instances where if there's no information on the land commission will indicate no recorded transaction.
Meaning that
We don't have any information at all on that particular piece of land, which happens, which is very possible.
I know. So what does that mean? Does that mean that I can go ahead or
No, so with that, what I would advise is you, the buyer, then have to carry out extra work of going to the grounds and interviewing people who are actually within the neighborhood.
Okay.
Let's say I want to buy this piece of land, but then when I'm around my set at the lands commission, it's indicating there's no recorded transaction.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'll go to the grounds, get a few neighbors and talk to them to see who they bought the land from, and then ask them about the person who is trying to sell the land to me if they know that person.
Okay. So no recorded transaction does not mean that the land doesn't have an owner.
No. Every
Okay.
land in Ghana has an owner.
Okay.
Every land. There's no ownerless land in Ghana. Every land has an owner. So as part of the due diligence, even when there is information on a piece of land, let's say they write in the search report that the land belongs to Kweku Zurich, you still have to go to the grounds and find out from the neighbors if the Kweku Zurich is the same person who is selling to me.
Okay.
Because let's say maybe you are let's say Accra Mall is an allodial, so you are the one who owns all the lands in Accra Mall, and you are asking to sell the land to me. I need to go to the grounds and be sure with my neighbors or people within the neighborhood whether the Kweku Zurich owns the land, and if you are the actual Kweku Zurich who is selling the land to me. Because there are instances where people could pose as Kweku Zurich to sell the land,
Okay,
and
so
you may end up being due.
Just in case if you are the seller and I do the search and your name is not there, it means that that land doesn't belong to you.
No, not that it doesn't belong to me. It's just that I haven't brought my documents to a lands commission
To
for
certify,
registration
okay.
to register it.
Okay.
People have documents in their bosoms, in their
Under
lockers.
their beds.
That under their beds. They are supposed to bring that to a lands commission to register. So a lands commission will have record of that particular person.
Okay, so
Or-
you've taken us through a land where there's no record.
Yes.
So now take us through maybe a land where there's a record. How do I proceed with that transaction?
So once you run the search and we're able to confirm that this land belongs to Kweku Zurich, and then you go do your grounds check and you're able to confirm that Kweku Zurich is the one who is claiming to be the one to sell to you.
Yes.
The next thing is to prepare the deed of transfer.
Okay.
Okay, first, in other circumstances, people prepare purchase and sales agreement that, Kweku Zurich intends to sell this parcel of land to me
Yes.
at this amount. I'll pay maybe 50%. Upon production of the indenture, I'll pay the remaining balance.
Okay.
So once you prepare the purchase and agreement, you can go ahead to transact by paying the percentage of the amount that both parties has agreed on. And based on that, after you make the payment, whoever is selling to you can then proceed to prepare the indenture. That's what we call it's a deed of transfer. It can be an assignment, a sublease,
Okay.
or what a license or whatever, to whoever is buying. And it has to be signed by both parties with their witnesses.
Yes.
So, Kweku Zurich, you have your witness, you are selling to me. I will also come with my witness, and then we both endorse the document.
Okay.
So once we get the document, we need to get the site plan that the surveyor prepared for you. You need to attach that to your indenture that was prepared,
Mhm.
and then submit it to the court.
Not the lands commission.
No,
the court.
first we go to the court.
Okay.
For what we call to complete what we call the oath of proof. That's the court to certify, the High Court to certify that this land
Belongs,
transaction
yes.
has gone through this process, and we are now certifying it before it comes to the Lands Commission.
Okay.
So as part of the Lands Commission process, the first thing you have to do is apply for what we call the stamp duty. For every landed transaction in Ghana, you have to pay a tax on that transaction.
Okay.
I think usually it's 1% of the value of the property or the consideration. So you pay that percentage. The Lands Commission will put its stamps. I don't know whether you've seen the
I've seen the
Yes,
stamp.
they put their stamps. The assessor will put his signatures at the back, and then once that process is complete, then you proceed to do the title registration. But then what I must bring in is that for the registration we have. Yes.
Yes. So he's showing us a copy of the stamp and how the whole process go like. You
Yes.
can show it to the camera in the middle over there.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the stamp I was talking about.
So that's a sample of an indenture.
A sample of an indenture. It's a booklet that contains the history of the land, the price at which you are buying it, where the land is located, and everything. So if you can see a blue stamp here, that is the embossment seal. That indicates that the stamp duty has been paid. To indicate that the stamp duty has been paid. I hope it's clear enough. Sorry, the wind is disturbing. So,
Yes.
yes. So once the stamp duty is paid, then you proceed to submit your documents for registration. But then for the registration, we have two forms.
Okay.
If it's a stool land, we go through what we call concurrence.
Let me disturb you. What is the stool land? What's
So
the
a stool
difference?
land is where the how
The
do we call
owner-
it? The owner or the manager of the land is under a stool.
Okay.
So let's say examples of stool is a Nungwa stool, the last stool, the Teshi stool. Before we have the family lands, like the Niade Impa family
Yes.
and all those family lands. So if it's a stool, then you have to go through what we call concurrence. Because the law indicates that for every stool land, before it's registered, it must have conformed with the layout, approved layout of that community.
Yes.
So part of the concurrence process, the request for the, how do you call it? The status of the land
Okay.
from the Land Use and Special Planning Authority. I forgot to add this. As part of your due diligence process in acquiring the land, most people don't do that, but the best thing as part of the process is to take your site plan to the assembly. Take it to the assembly to check whether the land falls, whether the use of the land.
Okay.
Because every land has a use.
Yeah, it could be
It's
for
either
industrial use,
Industrial, residential,
residential,
commercial, and mixed use. Or it could even be a lane or a
yes,
road.
or a road. Recently, some buildings were pulled down
Were pulled
painfully.
down, yes, indicated as Ramsar site.
Yes.
So if you had come to the Lands Commission and gone to the assembly to run your checks, probably there would have been an indication that this land is a no-go area.
Yes.
So back to where I got into. As part of the process, in the concurrence process, it has to conform to a layout of the neighborhood or the community in which you are buying the land.
Yes.
So once it's confirmed, and you get your concurrence certificate before you can go to land title registration. But then if it's a family land, you don't need to go through concurrence. You can go straight to land title.
Okay. If it's a family
If
land.
it's a family land, you go straight to title. If it's a stool land, you have to go through concurrence before you go to title.
Okay.
But then the Land Act has now made provision that for every land in Ghana, it must conform to a layout. So even for family lands, they are going to go through in some form of concurrence, but it's not as the concurrence process as the stool lands go through. But then it has to conform with a layout.
Okay. So before
Yes.
we enter into the registration process, I would just like to find out for stool lands and family lands, what's the maximum lease looking like for those two types of lands?
For those two,
And as a follow-up, before you even, as a follow-up, if maybe I'm owning the land and the land I've been on the land for, maybe the entire lease was about 60 years, but I've been on the land for 30 years. If I'm selling it, do I sell it over for the 60 years or I make the next buyer aware that 30 years is already done?
okay. So the first question was about the type of years,
the
number of
lease,
years they
yes.
give. Yes. So that one is based on negotiations on both parties.
Okay.
But usually the maximum they give is usually like 99 years.
99 years.
Yes, they are leases. They are not. People usually confuse a lease as selling.
It's
Oh,
because of the way we describe
we
it.
describe
at
it. Oh,
times.
I've bought a land.
Yes.
The land has been leased to you for a period. So at the end of that period, you need to go back to whoever sold it to you. You are allowed out, and then negotiate for a new term. But as we know, most of us will not be here for more than 99 years.
Yes.
So whatever documents you have, once it's with the Lands Commission, whoever succeeds you has to know that they have to apply for a renewal when the lease expires. And then once, let's say your second question, you have a 60-year lease,
Yes.
which you bought from an allodia. Once you are assigning, you are only assigning the remainder of your interest. So if you bought the land and you're given a lease for 60 years, and then you've been on the land for 30 years,
Yes.
whatever you are transferring to the person who is buying from it is the remainder of your interest, that's the remaining 30 years. You can't give what you do not have.
A lot of education must go into this, so because people have found themselves on the wrong side.
Yes,
Because
I know.
the people selling don't make them aware that it's
They have
left
this
with
number
50
of years, 50
yes.
years. I mean, to some extent, 50 years is a good term. Because if, let's say, you are 30, 40 years to acquire land,
Yeah.
in the next 50 years, to be honest, you may not be here to.
Yes. Yes.
So the best thing is to do is that you get a good term. Once it's about 50 years or more, or let's say 40 years or more, you have a good term, which you can enjoy your property peacefully.
Okay.
But there's a people want to, get a longer term so that their children do not come to, let's say, go through any hurdle of trying
That's
to
true.
renew and
That's
everything.
true. Okay.
But 50 years is a good term that anybody can have.
Okay, so now I've legally acquired the land. I want to do the registration in my own name before I start. Would you advise, is it advisable to start some construction before completing the registration process, or you should do the registration process before?
So the truth of the matter is, the law indicates that before you develop, you must get a permit.
Okay.
A building permit develop. And the building permit law also indicates that before you apply for a permit, you must have completed registration. But in all honesty and sincerity, we know that registration takes a while.
Yes. How long, on average, how long does the registration take?
Registration, 90 days.
90 days. That's
Yes.
about 3 months.
Yes. To
Or
complete
90
registration.
working days.
90 working days.
That's more than
I
3
forgot
months.
to
Yes.
add 90 working days
Yes.
to complete the title registration.
Okay.
But in the realm of things, administrative issues and all
Yes,
those challenges,
yes.
it takes a while longer. And people who have their monies, they want to develop. So what they do is, when they get their indenture, they use their indenture to apply for the permit,
For a building permit.
and then they start developing, which is against the law, but that is what's being done.
Okay. Okay.
You're supposed to get your title before you even apply for the permit, but that is not done. So the mitigating tactics that are being used now is that once you go to the assembly, they will ask you to come and run a search at the Lands Commission
Yes.
to indicate whether the person you are buying from actually has a right to sell to you or
Exactly.
not. Yes. And based on that, in most cases, the permits are granted for the people to continue with their development.
Okay, so now I bought the land. Walk us through another step by step. How do I get my land title? What's the payments like? What fees and charges do I have to make ready? What documents do I need before I come to get my land title?
So the process for the land title, as I indicated, so the pre-registration activities includes the stamping
Yes,
and then the concurrence if it's a stool land.
exactly.
But if it's a family land, you go straight to land title.
Yes,
And I already described the concurrence.
exactly.
process.
You have.
So I think the registration fee for land is about roughly 1,000, 3,004.
3,004.
That's the official fee.
For how many acres?
That's for an acre or less.
For an acre or less?
Yes. If it's more, once you put it to the system, it
It will
assesses the
give
fees
you-
for you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So once you load it into the system, it goes to our back office. Let me add this that you have to submit your documents at the CSAU. The CSAU is what we call the Client Service Access Unit.
Okay.
That's the front
desk.
of the Lands Commission.
Yes.
So if you want to submit it yourself, you go to the CSAU, you submit your documents, you make the payments, and then it comes to the back office. As part of the back office activities, it goes to what we call the records verification,
Okay.
where we need to check the records information of all the 3 divisions where they keep records.
Yeah.
Remember, I indicated
You
that
mentioned
the
it
search-
earlier. Yes.
Yeah, it has from 3 divisions. So it has to go through the searches from all the 3 divisions. And it goes for what you call the vetting. All things being equal, if the information comes and everything is okay, the vetting officer approves. It's either 2 things. They might go for an inspection
Okay.
or approve for the title plan to be prepared by survey and mapping. The title division of the Lands Commission. And now they prepare what we call the land title plan. And that will be based on the site plan that you produce. But I also forgot to add that the site plan that is used for the search is often a certified plan.
Okay.
But for registration, we have what we call the approved plan. That's approved by the Lands Commission and then signed by the regional surveyor on behalf of the Director of Surveys.
Okay.
So the approved plan in Greater Accra is what we call the barcoded site plan. So the barcoded site plan has these features,
The QR codes.
the
at
QR
back.
codes, and those other features at the back.
Okay.
There have been new improvements to the barcodes at the back. So now you see the one that has what we call the GL pin and then the other quotes with the job number and other details. The other improvements that will be rolled out in the next few months and weeks. So
I've heard you, Adam. You've
Yeah.
spoken a lot, but it looks like this process is quite long and very prohibitive. Small land that I want to own.
it's not prohibitive. It's quite a lengthy process, but then it's worth the hassle.
Okay, so earlier this week we heard that the Lands Commission has introduced several digital reforms to speed up this process. Can you speak about some of these digital reforms that you've introduced to boost this whole process?
Okay, so first I'll speak of the public online portal. That's the one indicator you can use to lodge a search.
Yeah.
You have a valid email address. You can create your account and then lodge the search. We also have the corporate portal. The corporate portal is what we've rolled out for the banks. So all the financial institutions are rolled onto that portal where they lodge their applications. Initially, they used to come to the client service access unit to lodge applications. But then we've been able to develop an online portal for the banks where they lodge the applications, so they don't need to come physically to the office to lodge applications. We have a corporate application processing center that after the application is lodged, it goes to that division or that unit, and then they process expedited service for the banks.
Thank you. Before we pick some questions for our audience member networks, I would just like you, in your experience at the commission, what are some of the common mistakes that people make when it comes to acquiring land?
Some of the common mistakes include, as I said earlier, basing or relying on the site plan that has been given to you by whoever you're buying the land from.
Exactly.
That's a very common. That was the biggest mistake some people actually make. Taking the site plan, the person can indicate to you this site plan is for, let's say, Accra Mall, and give you a site plan. And they don't come to run the search to confirm whether the site they are actually acquiring is what the person is giving to them.
Okay.
They go ahead and prepare the indenture, sign off. And then once it comes to the Lands Commission, they indicate that the land doesn't fall within the site the person is actually selling to you. Like I said earlier, if the whole of Accra Mall is in Kweku Zurich's name, probably the site plan the person is giving to you falls outside their boundary.
That's true.
And when they sell it to you, come to Lands Commission, they say, oh, it doesn't fall within your grantor's boundary. And then it becomes, they say, Lands Commission doesn't want to register my land for me. So the best thing is to carry your surveyor to the site, prepare the site plan for you to run your search. It's expensive, but it's better than
expensive, but it may cost you more in the long term.
More in the long term.
Okay, so final one, another mistake that people make before we pick questions from our audience.
Mistake, how will I go by? Another mistake is, how will I say it? People also actually acquiring, let's say, government lands.
Yes.
Lands that have been acquired by the state.
Yes.
And they've done the searches. They've been informed these are government land that must not be encroached. But then, because they go to the site and they see a lot of people have developed, they also go ahead to develop, thinking that since the whole place is developed, Lands Commission or the government cannot come back later to take its lands back. But it's a big mistake people make. Because to build, it's not easy.
You cry blood later.
You cry blood later. You go cry.
Okay, so this is a question from Irabna. And the question is, in cases where two lands are sold to multiple buyers, often resulting in confusion and disputes, which authority is responsible for preventing such situations, and how is compensation ensured for all the affected parties? I think this may be beyond your office, right?
That's beyond our office.
Yes,
because it's the chief that has gone ahead to engage in multiple sales. The best thing is to report to the police that you've been duped.
Okay.
But then the Land Act also indicates that anyone who knowingly engages in multiple sales of land can be taken on by authorities.
Okay.
So the best thing is to report to the police, and then the police will take it off from there.
Okay, thank you very much for your education this afternoon. If there are any questions from our audiences here, any questions to the Lands Commission, we are still coming to you live from the food court of the Accra Mall, where is day 2 of the Home Fair 2025. So if we have any questions for the Lands Commission about land ownership in Ghana, come and ask your question before you cry blood later on when your building is pulled down. This is the biggest and the best opportunity to find out about the assessment for stamp duty, the general valuation, compensation, objection, the registration for your title. So if we have no questions, I think we'll be signing off as we speak to some of our exhibitors here, over 20 exhibitors here at the Home Fair 2025, powered by MTN Ghana. And MTN is here with MTN Fiber. I think we have some questions coming in. We are still coming to you live here at the food court of the Accra Mall. And Moses, I'm yet to receive the message. Yeah, I'm yet to. Okay, so another question is, in this digital Ghanaian space, okay, so it appears what we just spoke about, it has more to do with people who are literate, who have access to internet. What about the people in the villages and those who are not lettered? Are there any steps in place at the Lands Commission for someone who is not literate, formally literate, to go through this process?
Yes. So with this new administration, there's an agenda to set up district offices in every district across the country.
Okay.
So with the establishment of the district offices, registration will be closer to the people. So you don't need to come to the regional office or to the center to seek any help. Once there's a district office close to you, the, let's say, not so official literate can then visit the district assembly, and every help they need will be given to them over there.
Okay, so encroachments, and this is a very common occurrence. Encroachments on public lands is a very big issue, and not just public lands. And we realize that a lot of time the building starts, will not see stop work. But when the building reaches the roofing level, that's when we see the stop work. Is there a challenge in enforcing when we see somebody building on state land, that the Lands Commission knows that this is state land? Why don't we just stop the person? Why do we wait for the person to roof, put up their gates, nice wall, or we want them to cry blood?
Okay, so I'll start by saying that usually the stop work is from the assemblies.
Yes.
When you don't have your building permit, they come to put a stop work on your building. So that one I cannot speak for the assemblies. But then for the encroachment of state lands, I can say on numerous occasions, there are notices that are sent out to those places, those who are encroaching government lands, that these are government areas, please stay off. But you know, there's scarcity of land,
yeah,
rent is high, so everybody wants to have his or her own abode. And people end up encroaching those lands. And as to the repercussions, they might come sooner or later. So we do give public sensitization, indicating that you shouldn't encroach government lands. But then there are other avenues where people who encroach government lands sometimes apply to the Lands Commission for what you call regularization. So let's say if you're encroaching a government land, you apply to the Lands Commission with a letter, with an indenture, whatever you have, asking the Lands Commission to regularize your interest and give you title to the land. But then such applications have to go to the board. It goes to the regional board for the regional board to approve before you are given such a document or your interest is legitimized. Okay. So it's not cast in stone that once you apply for regularization, by any means you're supposed to get your lease. Okay. It has to be approved by the board.
Okay, and let me ask this question, but I will not go into specifics, just a general question. Recently in the news, there was this report of a certain chief from one of our neighboring countries acquiring land, and there was a lot of hula baloo. You didn't speak much about foreigners acquiring land in Ghana. Is it possible, and what are the differences between a foreigner acquiring land in Ghana and maybe a West African or somebody from Europe acquiring land in Ghana? What are the differences there? Yeah. And is it legal?
Oh yes, it's legal for foreigners to acquire land in Ghana. It's not illegal, it's very legal. But then every foreigner who is acquiring land is restricted to a number of 50 years only.
50 years
yes,
only?
At a time.
While,
a Ghanaian indigent can go beyond the 50 years, 60, okay, 70, 80, 99, 110,000 years.
That's good.
So the 50 years is based on renewal. And the land that the so-called chief has acquired, I think it's around Pram Pram.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know the Alodia he got the land from.
Yeah.
And in the 50 years time, we don't know when he acquired the land also. But then I think there were indications that the land was acquired 2013.
Yes.
It's an old video.
It's an old video.
Yeah. So that one is acquired from the stool. And for you to acquire such vast land.
Yes.
It must have gone through some community engagement and then go through a certain process before it's able to acquire the land. Probably he's only acquired it on paper, but it hasn't brought it to Lands Commission for Lands Commission to register. Because as part of the process, for you to acquire such a big land, a large tract of land, it must have gone through a certain process. They call it the large land acquisition process. That's a different process from anyone who is acquiring, let's say, a 1 acre or a 2 acre or 5 acres. To acquire such huge amount of land, it is a different process it goes through.
Okay, so I'd like to remind our viewers once again that we are coming to you live from the food court of the Accra Mall, and it's the Home Fair 2025. We are now having a question and answer segment with Adam from the Lands Commission. And Adam, this question goes to you. We hear a lot about affordable housing. How is the Lands Commission supporting this affordable housing drive?
So often, affordable housing is state what's the name? State sponsored or from the state. So with such projects, usually they apply to Lands Commission. Oh, maybe there's some 50 acres of government land in a certain area that they want to use for affordable housing. So Lands Commission, as part of this process, usually gives this to them at let's say a reasonable rate, because it's affordable. It's from state to state, so they're not paying. How would I even go about it? They're not going to pay the market price as an individual that's going to pay for it. So that's what Lands Commission is involved in, is to make sure the land is available for whichever affordable housing project,
yes.
Just like Saglami and Co.
Exactly.
Their lands are given by the state. There are instances where for affordable housing too, they go to the stool or the families, but those ones are purely transactional basis.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. So if you have no more questions, I think we'll be wrapping up soon. So as we await questions, I think this one, I don't think it falls within your mandate. The question says, if you project to 2030, what major transformation should the public expect from the Lands Commission in terms of land administration? I think this must go to your boss.
This my bosses, but then
exactly. If you have something to say, you can share, but I think it should go to your boss.
Yeah, it's beyond my pay grade.
Exactly.
But then there are activities in place to digitize our records. So it's supposed to make things easier. Maybe in the next 15 to 20 years, things will be easier than, because we intend to reduce registration from 90 days to about 30 days.
Yes.
So with all things being equal, if we're able to digitize our processes, then we can reduce to that
Okay,
stage.
so we have a rep from Modus who wants to ask you a question. Modus Properties is one of the exhibitors here at the fair, so go ahead. Introduce yourself and ask your question. Very brief.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Edwin Williams. I'm the marketing manager at Modus. My question is, how do we avoid purchasing a land twice? You know, there are some times where you're buying land, you buy from one person, and another person comes and says, you didn't pay me, but I'm part of like the land ownership of the land. So how do we avoid that generally? Thank you.
That's the type of purchase that's called you pay, sir.
Such circumstances are very difficult to escape, because it's not every land that is registered. Though every land has an owner, not every land is registered.
Yes.
And in a family, there are instances where a family has, let's say, 3 different quarters or 3 different factions.
Exactly.
The Feglo family is one. Maybe there's Kwame Feglo, there's Kojo Feglo, there's Kofi Feglo.
Yeah.
I am the family head, all right. But then within the family, there are little divisions here and there. So being the family head, I've gone ahead to sell the land to you. You can proceed to register, all right. But then another faction of the family comes.
One day I'll come and remind you that land is my great-grandfather that paid for it, not yours.
It's not. So how then the Lands Commission, it's almost impossible to, to resolve it, because those are internal to and family issues that we do not have control over. Yeah. So I hope your question has been answered.
This question has been answered. This question has been answered. So I think we'll be signing off now. One more question. Okay, so I think people want some specific numbers about when it comes to paying for your search, paying for your land title. They want some specific numbers.
No, so there's no specific number you can pay to.
Okay.
All our payments go through the Ghana.gov.
No, in terms of the cost. In terms of cost.
If they want to know the cost
Yes.
of registration, they should go to the online portal.
The online portal.
Yes.
When they enter their documents.
Yes.
So mention the portal once again. So
onlineservices.lc.gov.gh.
Yes.
That's the
yes.
online portal.
Okay.
Once you go there, you input your
because
land size.
it depends on the number of acres and
acres
other
and the land
factors.
size, other factors. So I cannot just speak of it off head. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Adam, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Once again, we'll be here tomorrow. We'll have a similar engagement with the Lands Commission live from the Graphic GREDA Home Fair, powered by MTN Ghana. MTN Ghana is here with the only 4G plus network in Ghana. MTN Fiber, direct to your home. It's time to make your home smart. We also have some support from Access Bank Ghana, and there are over 20 companies here speaking to you about real estate. Thank you very much once again. My name is Kweku Zorik, and stay tuned to the Daily Graphic platforms on Facebook, Daily Graphic Ghana, on X Graphic GH, on YouTube Graphic Online TV. So stay tuned for some more updates live from the fair. Thank you.
Okay, inti ebusiafo yesuanyama bebre efri Lands Commission for no enchen omakasa bebre me gidi se meni omienu yesuade me gidi se meni omienu yesuade Zurich. Thank you. Ana nipa yenene kasa ye no ye rep ofri Lands Commission. Mo questions no yetimi eyi ano Eddie Amau mo sene efa Facebook ene WhatsApp YouTube no me gidi say ye ano Eddie Amau say e bia wo question bi e wo ho na ye ntimi answer o twen be omo Lands Commission for no they are still around, they are still here nti o twen be omo be yi ano Eddie Amau nti we Daily Graphic GREDA Home Fair 2025 ekoso ewo Accra Mall companies nini na ewo hase Rockstars Roofing System for ewo hase Access Bank ewo hase Star Properties and so ewo ha Lakeside Estate for ewo ha JL Properties ndra mo ankasa mo se ndem mo be kasa ye ba nti ye ne omo nso ebe twetwe enkomo GHS Housing Limited Fonso Ewa Hase omo maye shout out State Housing Company Limited Fonso Atnase Kama African Concrete Product for omo so wu sidanya e de na ope o twembe omo a de o hia bia raw materials no ombe provide the amount Eden height for so ewa ha omo so omo we West Hills kwan so into uchimbe omo a omo ne wo ebe twetwe enkomo o ye we ni na ewie a na abon ho modern akọ glyco group for so ho na we nya insurance na da chi bibi tu a asase na apartment efie no ho eba asema na we hu se glyco for ebe boa nyamedua apartment omo 2 and 3 apartment for so ewo honomo Mikaso so atnase Mikaso so atnase endranomo wa ha enen so omo wa ha se omo se ye ntwembe omo se ye hunti ana yawa omo wa ha se ye hunti ana mo aba ha se omo se na ye ha ye hun kra se ye bo omo office Samsung phone so de omo product ni na aba ha se omo se won tokra nye hwe bromo nchen Philiphones nususomu smart watches ni na you can feel them one to enyeshe into no more affordable prices almost so a payment plan so the ma minimum into companies nini na has a 3 days fair they starting dra and then so yeah the twaso ochina last day take this opportunities comes but once per unya biom that discount 20%, 25% discount no eya ha na ubenya no wo nti uba ha se ya saa 20% ni 25% no aha ena ubenya no Zurich.
Yeah, so we are still coming to you from the fair, and I met this man once, a very interesting local indigenous Ghanaian businessman. I'll let him introduce himself and tell us the work he does here.
Okay, my name is Collins Dumevi, and I'm a lead consultant and then a CEO for the Ultra Spa Adenta.
So Collins, I saw you walking through the fair, engaging some exhibitors. So far, what are your impressions of this fair thus far?
Okay, pretty much my first time here. I chanced on the Samsung cubicle, and they have quite amazing product there. And I also visited Smart Homes, and then they walked me through a couple of stuff that they have, which are quite interesting to me. So they took my details and then promised to send me whatever they have in terms of prices.
Yeah, so Collins, I don't want to get too much into your business, but as a returnee, how has the home ownership journey looked like for you?
As a matter of fact, I am not a returnee. Okay. I'm an indigenous guy. I've not stepped a foot on a tarmac of an airport before. Okay. I've not traveled out of Ghana. I've done everything here in Ghana.
So how has your home ownership journey been like thus far as a Ghanaian?
Okay, as an entrepreneur, my first attempt to home ownership was to solve an accommodation problem. But for now that I'm more into business, I wanted to look more into the commercial aspect of it in terms of investment. And that's why I came here to see what's being displayed here.
And do you think such a fair is a good idea? Would you like to see more in the coming months and years, bringing together real estate players in one spot for Ghanaians to just walk in and speak to them and walk away with some brochures, some souvenirs?
Yeah, I think it's an awesome thing that is going on here. And then I had an opportunity once again in terms of home ownership to the spots of the lakeside. And then the prices I saw there were quite amazing. And I think everyone out there should come and then visit them. And they have amazing products, which I think will suit middle class and upper class individuals or family.
Thank you very much, Collins. Having a good time here at the Home Fair 2025, coming to you live from the food court of the Accra Mall, where we have over 20 real estate players here selling their wares and engaging with Ghanaians, speaking to them about the good news when it comes to home ownership, land ownership, and with as little as 400,000 Ghana cedis, you can own a 2-bedroom house. If you join us here at the food court of the Accra Mall for the Home Fair 2025, powered by MTN Ghana. I would like to engage the good people of Access Bank if you are ready. Access Bank, if you are ready, would like to engage you about your experience day 2 of the fair. One of our major backers and supporters when it comes to the Home Fair 2025. Abena, if you could hand a mic so that we have this engagement swiftly. Yes, thank you very much once again, Access Bank, for supporting the Home Fair 2025, which is being powered by the Graphic Communications Group Limited in partnership with the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association. Access Bank, can you tell us your name and what you do at Access Bank and your experience so far on day 2 of the Home Fair?